Good morning. Hey, it's Mike again, Mike Makowski here in Gilbert, Arizona. We're going to talk about space modeling again, and today we're going to give the latest update on the Man Orbiting Lab kit from Fantastic Plastic. It's a 1/48 scale kit, resin kit, and here it is. I'll be sitting here today because it's construction's done. All we've got left is painting, and I hit it with some, because it's an assemblage of different parts and some things that I added. And so here you can see the two tracking camera fairings I added, and they got little doors that open, so I added like a little hinge thing and some scribing to show the door closed, because I'm not going to open it. It's full of mirrors and optics in there, and I'm not going to do that. There's a hatch on the bottom, ostensibly for initially for re-entry capsules with film, and then later as a backup to get from the Gemini to here. I've got the camera door closed off for masking. Got mounting points here. Anyway, so it was different primers and lots of putty for the joints, and so I hit it with some Tamiya gray, and just last night a bunch of nice Tamiya flat white, a really nice primer. The only problem is, and I don't think you can see it in the video, but they've got raised ribs here for these structure, which really isn't accurate. Technically, it'd be hard to replicate, but easy to do if you're making masters for a resin kit. It's actually like a corrugated sort of a channel pattern, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I don't know if it's in the mold or I'm just picking up dirt, but if you look closely, and again, you can't probably see it here, but there's a lot of fuzz and little, these grooves are not smooth, and from a distance it looks okay, but under certain lighting it looks pretty nasty. And I'm noticing, some of the paint's not picking up here. So I'll probably touch a little bit of that up by hand, a little more cleaning with a fine file, and making sure it's clean, which I've done more than once when I painted. And then, so what I'm going to do now, I think I'm done with the primer. I'm going to clean up any rough spots, and there are a few, but generally happy with how this is going to look. So I'm going to clean that up, finish painting with some Vallejo acrylic flats with the airbrush. And in terms of color, since I never built it, it's kind of your guess is as good as mine. They had a mock-up which was mostly all white. They had they launched a heat shield test, but that was just a dummy stage they used, and they painted it, according to what I've read, so they could track it on orbit. The capsule was suborbital, but they actually put the lab in orbit supposedly. And so they had some like black and white markers so they could track it. An operational mole wouldn't have that. I did find a reference in one of the many documents on the NRO declassified website that says basically it was white paint. The lab was painted with a white paint, except in areas around where the stages from the solid rocket motor separation would hit this. So that's down here on these sides, and it was painted with an epoxy. I talked to one of my engineering buddies where I work, and he thinks it was probably a black. So I'm going to put a couple of black quadrants towards the bottom. If you see the pictures of the Gemini at McDonnell in those photos that are out there, the Gemini B, which actually is right here, it shows a gray adapter, which is kind of close to what this primer was, but it's got some white on it now. And so what I'm going to do is make this adapter that gray and this equipment section, because this is an equipment section and that's an equipment section. This is the pressurized lab, so I'm comfortable, and just to kind of break up the monotony of all white, I'm going to make these two the same shade of gray, everything else white, and a couple of black rectangles on the bottom. So that's going to be the paint. Oh yeah, and the back, all right, now it's just masked off. They give you a little dome, but there's no pressurized thing here, just a telescope. So I'm going to put, another modeler built this, and he put like that orange Kapton foil, the gold Kapton foil that you see on the back of an actual Gemini capsule back here. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that's a great idea. The other thing I made some progress on is see these holes I put in here to mount it. They give you like 2 cradles, and to me you're going to be hitting your structure, and I didn't really, you know, it was okay. I was afraid to be scratched up and stuff, but what I decided to do was I made some holes here to insert some posts, which I can't. Oh, it's right over here. Clear acrylic rod. Ta-da! And I'll have a nice base, something like that. And that's going to go in a wooden base, which starts out like a piece of wood, nice piece of clean pine. And I went to my dad's workshop where he's got a router and turned it into this. And I had tried playing with this before, but it came out really bad. And I realized, well, the router bit was just dull. So I went and bought a new router bit, and I was really impressed. It just sliced through like butter and came out really clean. So I'll make a nice base out of this. So that's where we are. I'll be doing some more painting today, and we're getting close. Oh yeah, and markings, you know, the capsule has this. They give you some decal sheets, but putting decals on those ribs is going to be fun. I think what I'm going to do is there's a big star and bar. I'm going to put them in this section, and that way I've got this section I can hit with a heavy gloss, and it's fairly clean. So, you know, with a lot of decal softening agent, might be able to get it in all these ribs. If not, I'll just rip it off and paint it white. So that's the plan. So it'll be more fun this week. We're getting close to the edge. We're down. We've finished all the main construction, all the modifications. It's a pretty impressive model. It's a large model, and maybe by next time I do another video, we'll be done painting. So thanks for your attention, and check out my Space in Miniature Facebook page and website for more interesting information and more pictures of the work in progress. Thank you.